Well, hello there. Welcome to another, probably the first time I've filmed live or streamed live our behind the scenes of filming Ask Dr. Bitcoin. But today we're doing that. We're probably going to do it. If you're going to hang out for us on any of the feeds, you're going to see a few things that we're doing. We're going to talk about the Ledger hardware wallet vulnerability thing that occurred that was today and has been remedied, I guess, already. We're going to talk about how to transact digitally and otherwise when you're locked up in prison. And I don't know, we may talk about some other stuff too. I have a feeling we'll probably end up saying something about the Trump NFTs because it lives rent free in my brain. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I guess we're just going to start rolling into stuff, right? Cool. All right. So greet the okay. So I guess we'll just roll into it now.
Yeah. Just pretend we're not live.
Pretend we're not live. Okay. All right. Well, hello there, and welcome to yet another episode of Ask Dr. Bitcoin. I'm your host, Mark Hopkins, aka Dr. Bitcoin. I'm just a guy who's been studying and learning about the space since 2011. We're going to start exploring today a little bit about wallet security. What happens when that hardware wallet that you depend upon to keep all of your cryptocurrency secure is compromised? Is that even possible? Can that really happen? I'm here to tell you, yes, it can. And it happened today in the news. We're going to dig into what that means, who is vulnerable, and how you can avoid that in the future. Stay tuned. Okay. All right. Let me think about how I'm going to talk about this in the past and the present tense. Hey, do you mind throwing the live on the screen somehow? I don't know. For some reason, when it disappeared, it was distracting.
Like you want the program on the feed?
Just program out's fine. Yeah, whatever you're doing.
I took it off because you were looking at it. Look at the camera.
Well, maybe put it up there.
Okay. You want to look at yourself?
Yeah,
deep in the eyes.
There we go. So if you've been paying attention to the news recently, if you're watching this on demand, if you watch it live, if you're paying attention to the news right now, you know about the Ledger Nano hack, what occurred, and the vulnerability. But if you didn't, here's what happened. There is a thing called a hardware wallet made by a French company, and it's called the Ledger, and it's widely used to keep your hot wallets more secure than they would normally be when you use them as just a regular wallet that you would install to interact with Web3 applications. Unfortunately, it relies on a ton of libraries that are open source and available to be edited. And one of the libraries that it depends upon was compromised and was connected to something called a wallet drainer, which does exactly what it sounds like. It allows a bad actor to get in there and drain your wallet. The incident specifically involved a critical exploit in Ledger Connect Kit library, which is used to interface between Ledger hardware wallets and various decentralized applications. The vulnerability was not just limited to Ledger's hardware, but also affected most EVM ecosystem-related dApps, including MetaMask, SushiSwap, and Phantom, theoretically, but it was specifically targeted towards Ledger-enabled wallets. Now, upon discovery, Ledger took immediate action by removing the malicious code and replacing it with a genuine version. The new version is currently, as I am recording this, propagating across the web. But it has is not fully propagated, depending upon how your wallet is configured, you may need to take extra measures to clean out the cache, the application cache on your local machine. Um, it wasn't a particularly successful hack. The Look On Chain reported that the hacker who implemented this man in the middle attack only made away with about $484,000, given the fact that literally millions, if not billions, of dollars are protected by a ledger hardware. It's not a huge amount of money that was moved, but still, it's worth getting out of bed for, I guess, if you're a hacker or some sort of digital thief. The users were advised update your MetaMask, update your to clear out your app cache, and it's just the latest in the long line of critical blunders made by Ledger. If anybody who's been watching the space for a while knows that Ledger's customer service servers were cracked last year, so everybody who has ever purchased a Ledger had their information leaked, which let hackers know who exactly to try to target with techniques known as spear phishing to try to steal their crypto directly through other means. It's I've long since counseled that hardware wallets are not really worth the hassle. I've had a lot of bad experiences with various hardware wallets, not just the Ledger. The first one that I was given to test back when we were working at SiliconANGLE, I would say back in 2013, was something called the Keep Key. And it was riddled with security holes and backdoors in which we were unwilling to even go forward with a review publicly about whether or not people should take a look at it. We didn't even want to promote the fact that it existed. The best method for securing your crypto is always going to be the use of a cold wallet. That's what we're going to explore today. The better ways to protect your crypto, to protect your digital transactions. So stick with us on that. Let's see. All right, let me review the next section of notes here. So the number one way, as I say, to secure your crypto is to use a cold wallet or a paper wallet. Now, what does that mean? What is a cold wallet? A cold wallet means this is a wallet, a cryptographically secure wallet, just like your hot wallet, but it's something that's not connected to an online only machine. Let me repeat. Actually, let's cut that. That was a bad way to phrase all the things I just said. What's the best way to secure your crypto? Well, before you can even begin that journey, what you need to determine is what is a non-trivial amount of crypto to you. If all you have online in the whole world is $5,000, then any number above $900 might be a non-trivial amount of crypto to you, or any number above $500 might be a non-trivial amount of crypto to you. You need to determine what's going to hurt if it gets lost. If what's going to hurt is going to get is it, because if you're having it all in a hot wallet, you're making it vulnerable to hackers. So you need to have a two-tiered system where what you need to use on a daily basis or on a routine basis is in the hot wallet, and what you don't use on a routine basis, all of your NFTs, all of your long-term investments, all of your the bulk of your funds sit in something called a cold wallet. That cold wallet can be created on a computer. In fact, it has to be created on a computer, but it can be disconnected from the computer. If you go back and look at our previous episodes about how a blockchain works, you'll recall that a cryptographic key isn't a place where you store your crypto. It is simply a key that allows you to log into the global database, which is a blockchain, and manipulate the crypto that you have access to. So you can take those cryptographic keys, put them on paper, put them in a safe, and no one will ever be able to hack it because it is offline. The only way someone could get a hold of your crypto in that instance would be to physically get control of your safe, crack the safe, open the safe, put your keys into a computer, and run away with it. So that is what I'm talking about when we say cold storage. First, define what is a non-trivial amount of crypto, define the best cold storage method for you, and then take the bulk of your assets and put them in cold storage. This is what large scale exchanges do. This is what long-term investors do. And this is what everybody who uses crypto for non-trivial amounts of funds should also do. Let's see. Hang on. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about here is the different types of cold storage. Now, if this video that may be running right now while I'm talking is something called the Wilco wallet. This was a hardware wallet that I created back in the ICO era for a lot of the customers and people that I was consulting for. And essentially, what it allowed you to do was to have a custom built machine that had never been touched, never been on the internet, that you could move your crypto into. This was handy for a lot of people that were just coming into the space at the time. There was a lot of people that were newbies that have never set up a wallet, didn't know which wallet to pick, and this was a device that we set up. They said, "Look, we've this thing has only been connected to our setup servers, never been connected to the internet, and it contains exactly the hardware and the software that you need to manage your crypto, and so you can be secure in the fact that once you've moved your money over into this device, you can put it in a safe and not worry about it." That is one way to think about how to work with a cold storage device. It doesn't necessarily need to be something as complex as a paper wallet. It can be a Chromebook that you buy for a couple $100 that you set up once and then turn off and only turn on in case you ever need to access those funds. It's really about keeping it safe from network intrusion and keeping it safe from physical theft. Um, does it need to be the only copy? That also depends on your application, right? So there's a lot of people that will try to do the version where they'll have 2 or 3 copies because they're particularly paranoid, or there's a significant amount of funds at stake and they don't want to lose it. So what they might do is have a copy in a safe at home, and then have a copy of their wallet, whether it's a electronic device or a paper wallet, in a safety deposit box in a bank somewhere. You never know if the bank goes away or the bank gets compromised, or if your house burns down, you don't have a fireproof safe. There's all these sorts of edge cases that can happen. You know, if you only got a couple $100 worth of crypto, maybe that doesn't matter as much. But if you're Michael Saylor and you have billions of dollars worth of crypto, you're going to get a little bit paranoid about where you bury the money. So this is what we're talking about here, and what you'll see in the news when people aren't using this cold storage hot wallet technique is you'll hear all these stories about people with Bored Apes that are getting them stolen. Seth Green, most famously, and a lot of people in the Bored Ape Yacht Club are getting their NFTs that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars stolen away through wallet exploits, much like the hardware ledger exploit that occurred today. That's all because they took these high dollar assets and they left them in the wallet on the machine that they used to play Candy Crush Saga. I can promise you, anytime that you have your high value assets on the same device that you can get malware on, you're going to have a bad time. I'm trying to think if we want to get how much time have we gone so far?
One sec.
If we got time to go into how to generate a paper wallet, or we want to save that for another episode.
Done about 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So finally, what we're going to get into here is what are the best practices for creating a cold storage wallet? It doesn't matter what we can get into details on another episode on how to create a paper wallet or how to create a perfect virgin hardware device that is your cold storage. But in general, here are the principles you need to adhere to. You want to use clean, open source software to generate your wallet. That is something that has been publicly verified as malware free, and something that has code that is auditable. It doesn't matter if you know how to audit the code, but it has to be auditable by somebody who knows what they're talking about. So then you want to take that wallet generation software and put it on a machine that is not on the internet. It cannot phone home to the internet. And you use that to generate your public and your private keys. And then you'll want to save both the QR code for the public address and save the QR code for the private key. You'll want to Either print those out or store them on a device that will remain offline, like a thumb drive or something like that. And then wipe that machine that you use to generate those wallets completely before you ever connect it back to the internet. Now, what you have is you've created what's called an air gapped wallet, meaning a wallet that was created mathematically but has never touched the internet, therefore is not hackable. Now you can take that public address, which is either via the QR code or the text representation of that public address, and use that to interact with blockchains. If all you're doing is storing information, storing your NFTs, storing your tokens, storing your Bitcoin, all you have to do is send that over to those public addresses or those QR codes. If you're trying to interact with a smart contract, you're going to want to do that from something like what we call a hot wallet. You're going to want to do all those types of activities as much as possible from a hot wallet that's segregated from your cold wallet. If you need to interact with a live decentralized application with non-trivial amounts of cryptocurrency for any reason, you're going to want to have a much more complex setup, a much more custom solution, and something probably a little bit more bespoke than an off-the-shelf retail-facing hardware wallet like Ledger or Nano or any of those types of hardware wallets. We'll get into what those are in another episode as well, but this gives you the basics of how to avoid the pitfalls of common retail crypto wallets and all the hacks that come along with them. All right, that's it, I guess. That's all
That
I
was
got.
solid.
That's all I got to say about that. Cool.
Jacob just paid you a compliment.
Uh-oh.
It's crazy how little you've changed in the 5 years. You just tied your hair back.
That's true. Whereas you've grown like 3 feet, Jacob.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? How'd you do that? Just kind of happened one day. Yeah, I really got the I think the beginning of this I was trying to figure out my pacing, so I'm recording every angle ISO and they can edit mine if they want, but I think I'm getting down a good not too hyperactive, but you know.
So after I reported that Midjourney seems to be flagging Donald Trump as a hate word, my Twitter my Twitter mentions are full of Donald Trump pictures from people that are trying to replicate my issue. So I guess that's on me.
Like they're getting results.
Yeah. Like I got this picture of Donald Trump with a bunny costume on, and now I've got a lot of pictures of Donald Trump doing weird stuff now. So I guess. Yeah.
It's just you looking for censorship, Mark.
I guess so.
Hold it up. No.
Not hate speech, whatever that is. Joel Valenzuela figured that one out.
Oh, nice. Is that That's not.
That's the guy that I've been on the show a couple times.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Did you see the table of cookies?
Yeah, I did.
Just a pile of cookies.
At the trucker party.
Not even like in bowls or anything.
just a table full of, it was massive.
We've been having a bunch of holiday Christmas parties here, so
Mm-hmm.
never know what we're dealing with.
All right, so I don't know how to come at this Meek Mill thing, but I think it would be interesting to talk about, like, because I guess Jen said he'd been on a Web3 kick lately. Do you know anything about that, Soil?
I just know Jen said he's been on a Web3 kick lately.
Right.
I can do some Googling.
Yeah.
I think a lot of rappers have been.
That's true. Yeah, I was just curious of what his specific angle on it was, but I don't know. I know the name Meek Mill. That's about as deep as my knowledge gets, unfortunately, on this topic.
He is doing a NFT release, NFT music drop.
So is he on LimeWire?
Buys Bored Ape 6877.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
So here, all right. So I'll just set this up. We'll figure out if this is enough to. Actually, let me do some notes here, some talking points.
Yeah, the you typing is prime ASMR, so I'm gonna crank it. Go for it.
Okay, so the gimmick is I was going to use it as a launch pad to talk about how to transact in prison, or how people usually transact in prison. The dominant form is Cash App, which is bad for a variety of reasons. Okay. See if I can formulate an intro here. So, okay. So, how about something like with the increasing amount of popular rappers adopting Web3 and NFTs, a somewhat frequent topic of conversation in the community is crypto adoption for the incarcerated population. As someone who has both adopted crypto and been incarcerated, I felt like we could illuminate on this topic a little bit today. Stay
What about
tuned.
like
Something like that?
What about like Meek Mill called me, or Meek Mill's asking for no. What do Meek Mill and I have in common? No.
I don't know. Has Meek Mill been locked up?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, very famously.
Okay. Cool. See, I don't know
And
that.
then you go into what you said.
All right. What do Meek Mill and I have in common? Well, I haven't dropped a rap album lately, so it must be the fact that we're both crypto users and both been locked up. We're going to get into that. Stay tuned. No?
I like it.
You like it? Okay. I don't have a fire mixtape. No?
I feel like you could have done something where it's just like, well, I don't really have a really cool, really swag fire mixtape. Just really have like a corny.
The corny. I would be capping if I said my mixtape was fire. That?
Yeah,
That bad? Okay.
I think you should like lean into that for just that one sentence.
Just that one sentence.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do Meek Mill and I have in common? I would be capping if it was to say I had a fire mixtape. So it must be that I'm a crypto user and I've been incarcerated, much like Meek Mill. Want to hear some more? Stay tuned. Much like my Ted Cruz picture, that will haunt me one day. Anyway, okay, so Meek Mill, as I said, is a Web3 user. He's got a Bored Ape. He's kind of getting into stuff, and because of his history with incarceration, he's also brings up topics of prison reform and things along those topics. I was tagged in a thread with Meek Mill earlier today by Shlomo, who many of you who know me know him, as well as some other folks that we're trying to find a way to bring crypto adoption amongst the incarcerated population to the fore as a way of giving more financial privacy and freedom to those who are locked up. I, as many of you know, spent a good part of a year in Beaumont, Texas, courtesy of the BOP, teaching the local population at the behest of the federal government how to use cryptocurrency. And so I can kind of both illustrate what the dominant ways of transacting while people are locked up, as well as explain why crypto is not quite there yet for most people to use as a substitute, and maybe what we can try to do to bring that up to speed so that we can see better adoption while for the population. Interestingly enough, at least in the facility that I was in, and from what I hear, most other facilities around the country, the dominant form of transacting between inmates is using Cash App, surprisingly enough. How does this work? I mean, like, yeah, I thought that people didn't have phones while they're in prison. That's what most people say to that. Well, the truth is if you've got enough money or the willpower, you can pretty much get whatever it is you want when you're locked up. And the most common thing that people will get while they're locked up is a mobile device of some kind. Now, it doesn't mean it's not expensive. You will pay probably $300, $400, $500 at minimum for what is essentially a $60 or $70 phone on the street. But it does allow you a window that's unimpeded by surveillance to the outside world, to your friends and family, and frankly is cheaper in many cases than using the communications method that the prison will provide you. For a 15-minute conversation, you can expect to pay $5, $10 depending on where you are locked up. So paying $300 for essentially what is unlimited internet and phone access is not a bad deal. What this also allows people who are locked up is to install these popular personal payment applications on their phones to pay for things that they would normally have to barter for. If you look back 5 years, maybe 10 years or more into the past, the dominant forms of payment inside would have been physical items that they would barter. A lot of people would use these things called flat books or yard books, which are basically prison lingo for books of stamps, because stamps have both value on the inside, on the outside. Sometimes they will trade more expensive items from the commissary, like some of the seafood packets, some of the meat packets. I actually, at one point during a lockdown and commissary restriction, had basically a bag of pork that was worth that had a stockpile of them that were worth about $40 each, would have been worth about $3 at your local Aldi's. So there's all kinds of weird little microeconomies that will pop up, and different things that will get traded. The most common methods nowadays are either people that are using Cash App, or they will use something like they'll use Store Guys, which is basically a way of bartering commissary within your various prison cars, or they'll use Street to Street, which is a lingo for my family on the outside will call your family on the outside, and we'll settle up in the real world for interactions that happen in prison. That is somewhat risky because of the counterparty risk for the people that are making the deals on the inside. Are the people on the street actually going to pay up? As well as risky because talking about it on the phone is a potential rules violation that can get you locked up in the shoe. So as time has gone on, again, there's many reasons why Cash App and things like it are the dominant form of payment inside when you're locked up. Is just because it's despite the risks of getting caught with a cell phone, it is safer than all the other alternatives for a variety of reasons. So what will end up happening for those that are locked up is you will see one of two things. Either a ton of money will accumulate in their commissary account because they will be constantly moving money out through Western Union off of Cash App into their commissary account, or they will just let the money grow up, accumulate inside of their Cash App, which will, and seeing balances of, $7, $10, $20,000 in both locations is actually not that uncommon. Of course, the downside to this is that in both cases, the federal government and the state government have perfect visibility as to what is going on and who is transacting with whom. And if they don't like what you're doing, or if you have a corrupt official, especially on the commissary side, all of your funds can just go away overnight. They can just decide, oh, your restitution is due in full, and we're going to take everything that you've got. And if you've been working to build up enough money so you can have it when you leave prison, you may have like $5, $10, $20,000 that you've built up over the course of a decade or two, and you get let go. Now any type of ability to re-enter the world and not recidivate, is that a word? Not to be, not become, let's redo that sentence. And now any ability that you've built up to not become a recidivist is gone, because all of your money is gone. All of your nest egg, your cushion is gone. Similarly, with Cash App, they routinely, voluntarily, without even being subjected to warrants because of the way financial reporting rules work, will lay bare to the feds what is in your Cash App account. And they can also lay bare the interactions between inmates. So if you've got 100 people in a unit transacting back and forth for little bits and pieces here and there, and then one of those people is involved in the drug trade and gets paid for a big bag of contraband that comes over the wall. Now you've got somebody that's committed not just a rules violation, but a federal crime, and now they're under federal surveillance, maybe by the FBI, and they will be told, Cash App will be told to freeze the funds. Now what happens? Well, the funds are frozen. The Cash App rules say, well, all you got to do is provide your driver's license information, and you can transfer all that money out to a bank account, just do normal KYC rules, and you'll have your money back. Well, that doesn't work real well if you're locked up, because most people locked up had to surrender their driver's license and their passport at some point during either their arrest or their surrender to the BOP, which means you cannot get a bank account, which means your funds are locked up, which means you'll never be able to access those funds. Cash App is the ultimate beneficiary of criminals using their service, because that funds sit in their bank account, never to be claimed again. It's like when somebody loses the private keys to their Bitcoin, except Cash App is the beneficiary versus the rest of the Bitcoin ecosystem. So it stands to reason, all that we know about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that it would be a great alternative to start getting inmates and prisoners to use cryptocurrency technology. Here's the issue: user experience. Anybody who's watched this show probably started watching because they didn't quite understand what they were doing when it came to one specific aspect of cryptocurrency adoption, Bitcoin adoption, NFTs, something, right? It's not easy to get your head around all the concepts required to successfully manage your assets in a blockchain world still to this day. And we're talking 15 years into the technology. Imagine you're locked up and haven't seen the world for 15 years, let alone a mobile device, let alone watch this series. How are you going to get where you need to go in this space? That's why, if Meek Mill's watching this episode or anybody connected to him, we need to get better funding behind user experiences that will allow people to have more access to financial freedom and privacy. The idea that somebody is locked up and is forced by circumstance to not have an easy way to re-enter the world simply at the whim of bad guards or bad bad surroundings or you know, poor choices within interactions that they couldn't really avoid. Let me get back to this again. Let me start that sentence over. There's a lot of circumstances that can occur to someone that are locked up that are outside of their control. Corrupt guards, being forced into a bad situation where you cannot avoid being associated with people who are going to get you in trouble and get your funds locked up. And so therefore, it behooves us as people who understand the technology and like to build things that we should try to create a better solution for this. This is one of the things that will most impact a disenfranchised. Start that over again. This is one of the number one ways to increase adoption of cryptocurrency while impacting a disenfranchised class of Americans. I don't know if there's anything usable from anything I just said. Let's just see. It fell apart there towards the end.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sohail? Should I go back to any point of this and try to redo it?
I think spent a lot of build up to Cash App. I think you covered it.
Okay. You don't sound sure though.
Feel like it's missing something, some little. I think so. I might have gotten a little lost in the switching there to catch every word. So
got it. What do you think?
I can ask the audience. Audience, what do you think?
I think the ending. Once you fell apart on the ending, I wasn't able to like catch on.
Where do you think it fell apart? I can restart from there.
When you were talking about the circumstances beyond their control, that's right? Especially where.
Yeah, I'm trying to not cite specific things there, which makes it difficult because that's a whole rabbit hole of circumstances beyond your control. Like just being locked up in a cell with someone from a rival gang can put scrutiny on you. Like, let's say you're me, right? Like, so you're Mark Hopkins locked up. This actually happened. I was with a guy who was also like from an inmate perspective, squeaky clean. He was unaffiliated in a gang. He was a pastor on the street, right? He was a good guy, so to speak. And then, he got transferred, and then I was locked up with a guy from a cartel gang for, in the same room. I didn't move, but he was a guy from a cartel gang that was specifically involved. So this is why I don't really want to say it on the air or fucking on recording, because that's me fucking ratting out a guy who was in my fucking.
Yeah, you're good. I don't think you gotta go there.
Right. Well, but even fucking saying that, I don't want to say that. But like that, just being in proximity to them puts the guards on your case. Being in proximity to someone who's in a gang, when you're not in a gang, you're just as scrutinized as the person who is in the gang and is involved in stuff that may be shady. So I had to curtail any type of activity, even if it was mostly innocuous or commonplace, just because like I couldn't keep an extra like there's rules about like how many Cokes you can have in your room. Like you can't have 2 cases of soft drinks in your room. You can have 1, right? But if I have 2 or 3 or 4 and I'm in a room without a lot of heat on it, then no one's going to really care. But if I'm being watched because my celly is in a gang, then they're going to come in. If I've got 1 extra Coke, not 1 extra case of Coke, but 1 extra Coke, I actually got a shot for having too many Cokes in my room because my celly was being scrutinized. So, like what I'm saying, like there's a lot of things that are outside your control when you're locked up that could impact not just how long you stay in prison, but like if you have any money at all when you get out.
Yeah. I understood that from what you said.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way that's anonymized to explain that. You know,
like after on the consequences part where you fell apart, you listed 2 things. I think it would just be good to just stop it there at those 2 things, which was I forgot the first one. The second one was the corrupted guards. Right?
Yeah.
I think like at those 2 things, and you can lead that back into the Meek Miller thing, and then end it off there.
Right. I mean, corrupt guards. I could talk all day about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a guy in our unit that he literally had all of his money taken out of his account because he pissed off the counselor for the unit, and he recalculated his restitution to wipe out his entire commissary account. He had $12 left. And dude wasn't like involved in anything bad. Like this was a white collar guy. He was a lawyer that didn't fill out a form. He was a guy that made trouble for himself because he was a lawyer, and so he was always advocating for himself, which is bad to do when you're in prison. You don't advocate for yourself because then it brings the heat down.
This is all in Minecraft also. So
Yeah.
We're all talk. This has all been an RP session.
Yeah.
We actually have a Discord for this.
As Carla Reyes said, I didn't really go to prison, so
we have the ability to watch it back if you want to.
Yeah. Let me see that last little piece.
Yeah. Our viewer also got a little lost there. So
okay. Our one viewer.
They're consistent. Shout out. Also, we have a little comment here.
Oh, I can't.
Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chat bots, etc.
Awesome.
The price is lower than any competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best.
I'm in. Promote it. Go for it. Promote. You don't need my permission.
On this episode of Ask Dr. Bitcoin, we talk about Twitch chatbots, and Twitch artistic nudity.
Artistic nudity. Side boob? Artistic?
Stand by to learn more.
Really need that YouTube Premium. These double ads are killing me.
Mm-hmm. Thread with Meek Mill earlier today. Some of the meat is in your Cash App account. All the concepts required to successfully manage your assets in a blockchain world. Cash App rules say, well, all you got to do is provide cryptocurrency technology. Here's the issue: user experience. Anybody who's watched this show probably started watching because they didn't quite understand what they were doing when it came to one specific aspect of cryptocurrency adoption, Bitcoin adoption, NFTs, something, right? It's not easy to get your head around all the concepts required to successfully manage your assets in a blockchain world still to this day. And we're talking 15 years into the technology. Imagine you're locked up and haven't seen the world for 15 years, let alone a mobile device, let alone watch this series. How are you going to get where you need to go in this space? That's why if Meek Mill's watching this episode or anybody connected to him, we need to get better funding behind user experiences that will allow people to have more access to financial freedom and privacy. The idea that somebody
Actually,
that's it, just right there, locked up, cut it off right there, is forced by.
Yeah, this part was
that was just hat on a hat, didn't unnecessary.
I'm really liking this little meta thing we're doing.
Yeah. Dr. Bitcoin reacts to Dr. Bitcoin.
That happened 8 minutes ago.
Okay.
What else we got?
I mean, that's it. That was the two scripted things that I had today. We could talk about Trump NFTs.
Why not?
Dude, this video has been living rent free in my head.
You said that
all
times today.
Fucking but not on camera.
What video?
2 times on camera.
No, I haven't said it on camera yet.
You said it when we started the live.
To Ryan Harper, who's watching, that was ASMR, not dead air.
Yeah. The right, exactly. Come on now. It's ASMR. Let's see if I can pull it up quickly. I got it on my phone. It is. So Trump launched the mugshot collection. Here you go, Sohail. Here's a link to it.
Trump with some very exciting news. Hi, everyone. This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. My last 2 Trump digital trading card collections sold out in just hours. And now I'm back with my latest series called the Mugshot Edition. I wonder where that came from. The Mugshot Edition. 47 all-new stunning cards. And here is the best part. I'm doing 2 important things for my Trump collectors. For the first time, we're creating a real physical Trump card. Purchase 47 digital cards.
The thing that made me that I loved about this is it's like everybody that I showed this to had the same reaction. Are you sure this isn't like a deep fake or something like that? No, this is
like Tim and Eric.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, like, you stay up late at night when you're a kid and you see like the commemorative plate commercials. Yep. I mean, this is what this feels like, but it's NFTs. So that's the number one thing, is like the whole time you're watching, you think it's deep fake. The second thing is I don't know if he says it or if I just saw it on the website. It's launched on Polygon, which may not, if you're not into an NFT collection, if you're not an NFT collector, may not make sense as to why that's noteworthy. But if you are a real collector, Polygon is where you get spam NFTs. In fact, I could probably just pull up any random wallet that I have and show you. If you look at the NFT collection and filter just for Polygon, it's like, I don't know if you can, which camera I should pull it up to, but this right here, look at this. Like, it's just
keep it up.
It's like it's like the type of stuff you'll see on Twitter spam, like click here for $1,000 of free Shibu Inu and Cum Rocket. Like this is what, like, Polygon NFTs are not known for their collectability. They're known because you can mint them for free on there. So it's as if he decided to create a Mona Lisa level piece of artwork, as he describes it, right? The best artwork, it's the greatest, everyone says so, and print it on butcher paper. And then that's the collectible.
That makes it even cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is going to this video, I think, is going to stand the test of time. You've got, like, the Gettysburg Address. You've got, you know, We the People, and you've got the mugshot collection speech from Donald J. Trump. I mean, it's amazing.
This is we have some flags right here in the corner. I have this cool punch-in ability we can replicate this.
Yes.
What do you and Trump have in common?
Well, apparently incarceration and Web3 is about to be our commonality there too. Me, Meek Mill, and Donald. Sorry, President Trump. Show respect. Come on now.
He's looking good.
I mean, he's no Sleepy Joe. I'll say that. But for his age, he's hanging in there.
Cool. I think we may have a JM script meeting.
Yeah.
It was on the calendar.
Yep, that's true. I saw that note from viewer Ryan Harper as well.
Yes. So let's wind down.
Yep, I'm good.
All right. We're out. We'll be back in a couple hours filming Web3 Ready
That's right.
live.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.